Storm aftermath. All kinds of little twigs from these weeds. Yeah, not my box. That come from several blocks away. Fence blew over a little bit there. I had to put up a temporary one to keep their dog out of my yard. Blew over my egg chair. But here's the worst part. There's some branches that aren't supposed to be there. Blew over that tree. That's from that guy, right up in here and here. That thing broke 4 different times, 4 different spots. And that is the 6th time that that's broke and blown. You can see that one up on the roof of my house there. Yeah, that's the 6th time that thing's broke. So we got one broke here, there, and there, and the one up on the roof. All from that lovely weed of a tree right there, that elm. But you can see this spot right here where this broke, that's from 2 years ago. So those things just break. But that, and then we got this poor lovely guy right here. Broke right there. Split that whole tree. You can see right there. So that whole thing's gonna have to come down. That one's not mine. Well, neither is that elm tree, but it always seems to be my problem. But you can see that guy just fell all the way over. Here's bunches of it right here. So top of it's right in here. So it's about the tippy top of it right in there. Crushing some of my other little trees. Hopefully it didn't damage it. Oh, it did. Broke the top of it off. Right there. The top of my nice little, beautiful little pine. Oh, what a bummer. What a nasty storm. But had gusts over 90. Consistent winds up near 70. 67, 68 mile an hour winds. But kind of changed the landscape around here a little bit. And see, this is going to make this easier to pull that thing down, though. At least I don't have to top that tree. So we'll get the rest of that thing down one way or another. All right, so we'll move on back to our back area. Got some more of those weed twigs, branches blown over. Surprise! Look at my gutter. Picked it up and blew it. Just needs a little tweaking. Get it back to normal there. Oh, it's a little bit of damage to my screener. Good thing we just finished, right? I'll have to repair that. Well, maybe I'll just redo it all. But look at all these twigs everywhere. These things are always falling, but of course with that wind it was worse. So we got a lot of cleanup. We're gonna have to get the cleanup crew in here, pick all this stuff up. Everywhere. These things are always shedding. You can see some loose branches right in here from them breaking. These things are not strong trees. I swear they're diseased too. But anyway, so there's this one, I know some were concerned about this tree because of a cut right here. Well, that's from a couple years ago when that thing had broken off. I was going to take that section out. This thing's kind of a split into a V. Of course, to keep the big limb right there from coming over on my house, trimmed out all the greenery, the leaves off of it. But you can see it's a weed, so all these other little things just grew right back on it. And from those 80-mile-an-hour winds, there's no signs of any movement at the root system. So this thing wasn't coming over at the roots. Unfortunately, that's where they're their strongest, is in the roots. So, what a bummer. Yeah, so there's the branch right there, laying on my fence. I'll have to redo my electric fence. There's one up on the roof. I'll have to do some roof inspection, see if any damage happened to the roof itself. And there's another one. So again, that comes from up there, and she wound up blowing over to there. And they just split and break. These things are just garbage. They should never be allowed to grow that tall. They should be taken out a lot earlier. Oh, I did get a little fence damage right here, but at least my fence is still here. It did jerk a section of it out because I didn't have these three glued down. They were sitting here flapping in the wind. And check this out. Oh no, a branch fell. It's doing some damage. Oh, I'll have to get that all cleaned up. Before that does any more, I'll probably get that right now. But the rest of it held up pretty good. I mean, it's pliable because of the glue that I used, but yeah, that's holding nicely. So I'll have to grab that fence and put that back up. But other than that, at least the warehouse fared pretty well. No damage to any of this. Nothing fell on this. That was close though. That was close. Squirrels have done more damage to it than the wind has though. I have to do some repair. Squirrels have eaten this. They've eaten this. So I'll have a little bit of repairs to do. But that'll give me some content for my channel. But we'll come get everything cleaned up. As you can see, I haven't weakened that tree by cutting the roots, because you can see these things are, like I said, just garbage. Broke up there, broke right here. You know, these trees are just they're literally, they're weeds that need to just be plucked, pulled out of here. They just pose more of a danger than any benefit that they provide. So anyway, that's the damage is just right here in our neighborhood. All right, so it's time to take a test run to the open dock at the warehouse. I was gonna make it a dry run, but decided that we'd take a little load over there and see how the dock works. A little windy today too.
Now this is my first time pulling into this dock, and so I'm figuring out right here that there's a lot less room to maneuver than what I had anticipated in my mind. Even with the shorter flatbed trailer, this is still a little bit of a tricky spot to get into. And so I'm going to hit it a few times and really get a feel for where I'll be able to pull into and get lined up with the dock, and how much of the dock is actually going to be usable space to be able to back into. Because as you can see with my retaining wall coming in towards where the front of the truck's at there, I'm not going to have a whole lot of maneuvering space. So I'll get it pulled in and parked here, but then towards the end, after I unload the Jeep and reload the Jeep, then I do another test to see how far over I can actually get with the fence like it is to have useful dock space. And that's going to kind of help me determine how I'm going to get my dock set up as well. little tight, but not too bad of access in there. Had to be square enough to get it unloaded and loaded. And it's getting super windy again here, so I'll wrap this up. But I will be expanding this apron out to make it a little bit easier to back these trucks up too. So I'll be bringing that apron again, probably out to in here. That's going to give me an extra 4 feet of space, which should make it a lot easier for backing these rigs up. But right now it is doable. A little bit of a struggle because they're being so tight, but it still works. I like it. Let's take this thing back to the base. Got to get this road smoothed out. It's so rough through here. Working my way through a boulder field. Yeah, it's a good road to check your loads though. See if they're gonna hold up. I'm gonna lose my top on my Jeep.